This portion of the tutorial, we're going to add details to our mouse design. Okay, I want to start out by, and you notice that this is composed of 3 surfaces. And actually, I'm not going to join these just yet. I could select all 3 of these and do a Control-J and join them. And I guess that we'll rock it that way for right now. But I'm going to be playing around with this. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to add our trackball. Okay, we're going to add our trackball, and we're going to come over to the front window, and we're going to come over here and get a sphere, and I'm going to put that sphere right about there. And I'm going to rotate that sphere so that it's like that. Let me turn off my grid snap. I'm going to rotate it so that it's like that. And you should always make sure that your hemi is below, the hemispheric line is below the surface of your object. Anybody want to tell me why? It'll fall out otherwise. That gives you the mold lock that you need to lock it in. Okay, and I'm going to scale this actually because it's a little big. And I'm going to turn on my center snap. I'm going to scale it down just a little bit, like that. And I'm going to move that up a little bit. You're going to leave it right there. Okay, and from here, to add that into my object, how am I going to do that? Okay. Before I get happy, let me do a Control-C, Control-V, and I'm going to change the object layer. I made a copy of my sphere there. Oops. Let me Control-C. Oops. Control-C. Control-V. There we go. I'm going to, oops. Change object layer. I want to keep a copy of that, and you'll see why in a second. So in order to put that in there, what's the command that I'm going to use? Huh? Boolean union? Boolean difference. Okay? And I'm going to subtract from this object, and I'm going to subtract with that object, and I've created a cradle, right? Now I can bring this back, but you notice that it's tight, right? I'm going to turn this off for a second. What I want to do, I want to come over here, and I want to fillet this edge. Fillet edge, like so. I'm going to select that, like so, right-click, and I'm going to go with that 0.05 because that's what it should be. Okay, and that's filleted together nicely, right? Now I bring this back, and look at how that fits in there really nice. You see that? That fits in there really nice. And what I might do, just to bring it home totally, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do a scale on it again. And I'm going to scale it from the center, and I'm going to scale it 0.9. And that might be a little bit too much. Try it again, and I'll do it 0.98. And that's just enough so that if I were 3D printing it, it would provide enough space to get some support material up in there. Do you follow? Just offset it just a little bit. This is still below that hemispheric line right there, so it would lock it in, and it would roll around inside of there. Okay? So you follow that? And that's sort of like the technique that you use to do balls and buttons. Okay? You create like a you carve out your surface, boolean it back, and then you insert the object that you want to add. So let's go up to the top window now, and let's add a button to the mix. Okay, and I'm going to use my curve tool, and I'm going to draw a button like so. And what's the command I'm going to use to add this button to this surface? It's quiz time. Huh? Right on. Project. And I'm going to project it to this surface. And then I'm going to right click. I'll go to my perspective window. And there it goes, right? And I can hit Control to turn that one off, delete the one on the bottom because I don't need that. And look at that button. There are a lot of different ways that we can do this button. I'm going to show you the quick and dirty way to do the button. Okay? And basically it's a pipe and diff. Everybody say that, pipe and diff. Okay? So here we select that, get our pipe. We draw a pipe cross section. Okay. And the smaller it is, the more button-like it looks, because we're basically using it to create a notch. So we got our pipe, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a difference. Come up here, get that Boolean Difference command. We're going to subtract from our surface. And we're going to use that pipe. And look at that. We've got a nice little button. You can do an edit, select objects, curves. I'm going to delete that curve. And if I were to go in and do a rendered view, there we go. Okay. What's the final step that we have to do here? Huh? I heard the answer. We got to fillet that edge. No, Professor Scott's like a hook. So we're going to fillet edge. We're going to grab that one. Okay. And that's too big. That value is too much. And it's at 0.05, right? So we're going to do a set all and make it 0.02. That's looking good. That's nice and clean, right? So we're going to come up here again, fillet edge, get this one. We're going to use 0.02 on that one. And that's nice and clean also. Okay. And since we're telling keyshot lies, what you can do is that you can snatch out this, extract this surface, or all the way down to here, you can extract that out and attach it to this, and that's your button, and that's your notch, and that's your other surface. So you got a lot to work with there. Okay, and so that's one way to do a button. Okay, I'm going to show you another way to do a button. I'm going to start with my curve again, because I likes the curves. Real modelers got curves. And I'm going to bring that in like that. Bring that in like that. Bring that back like that. Like that. Like that. I'm going to delete one of these. There we go. That's better. And now I'm going to take this curve right here, and I'm going to do a projection again. Okay, and I'm going to go back on this surface because we're rocking that surface. Okay, and we go to perspective window, and we're going to get rid of the one on the bottom. We don't need that. And we got this right here. We're going to do it a different way. We're going to do this button a different way. This one is going to be a split extrude. Say that, split extrude. Split extrude, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to type in split and select the object to split. It's going to be this right here. We're going to right click, select the cutting objects. We're going to select that, and we're going to cut, okay? Now I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to make a copy, paste, create a new layer, change the object layer, and I'm going to paint this blue just so I know that I got it. Okay, let me turn that off. And you note that I still have this here, right? Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go to my solid, extrude surface straight. And I'm going to extrude that down like that and create my cavity with that. And I want to make sure that solid yes is turned on. Okay. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to get my extract surfaces command. And I want to extract that surface on top so that I can delete it. Oops. And so now I got this cavity, right? And I want to take that and join that to that. So that's all one big happy family, right? And I'm basically going to use this to create a cavity for my button. Okay? For my little clicker here. That's a little thick, okay? So let me go here. I'm going to fillet this edge. Okay? And I'm going to make the next radius 0.1. And I'm going to set all to 0.1. Ooh, that's a little bit too big, right? Set all to 0.08. Okay, does that look clean? Yeah, that looks clean. Looking pretty good, right? And now I can come down here, fillet edge again, come over here, like that, and I'm going to hit that like so, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to set all there to 0.04, because I want it to be a little bit tighter than the other one. Hit enter, and that's looking good, right? Now I can take this and delete that. I don't need that curve anymore. That's kind of nasty. That's bad, sir. Yeah, that's a bad fillet right there. I can't use that value. That was a bad fillet. And it's because of this right here. Let me see how low that goes. Oh man, I can't fillet that bottom edge at all. You see that? How that converges there? I can't. I'm not going to try and fillet that bottom edge at all because that will cause nothing but heartache. I gave that a, let me back this up. And let me do a fillet edge. Well, we're at 0.08. I did that. Let's make this 0.05. And I'm going to select this edge to fillet. Now let me look over there. That's better, right? See, that's better? See how much better that is through there? And I could, if I wanted to get cute with it, I could add a handle, like right there, in some of these areas where I have a little bit more space to play with. And now I could go in and sculpt these. Why isn't it showing me the preview? That's strange. And I generally, as a rule, when I'm filleting a surface, I never go beyond the meridian line with a fillet. Like, that's the meridian line right there. I never go beyond that line. I always keep it within that line. That looks pretty good to me. And that's nice clean. That looks nice and clean. Let me delete that. And let me see. It's a clean fillet. And now I can come over here and do the bottom edge. And that's a little bit tight over here, so I'm going to set all to 0.03. And now I don't have that fillet crash along that bottom edge. Do you follow why you want to make sure that that doesn't happen? You see that? You want to make sure that your fillets do not crash into each other, because you'll get bad surfaces if that happens. And I keep the bottom edge kind of uniform. Okay? And so now I can bring back that surface right here, right? And I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a solid extrude surface straight. And I'll bring that right down into there, like so. And I'm going to delete this surface right here. I'm going to move this one down to this object layer and make that the active object layer, and I want to come and deal with this on its own. And what I want to do a fillet edge. And I'm going to do the top edge and the bottom edge. And I want this to have like a rounded profile, so I'm going to bring this down right there. And that's a 0.1. Right? So I'm going to do let's see if I can get away with this. I'm going to set all to 0.1. Nope. I get some crash if I do that. Set all to 0.5. Let's see if I can get away with that. Oops. Really didn't like that, right? 0.05. The evil filletus. Okay. Let me check this out and hit enter. See if we get a nice. Ooh, check it out. Now that's a button right there. How you like me now? How you like my button? Okay. And let's bring that beat back here. Oops. Where's my surface? Oh, there you go. Okay. And now that sits in there really nice. Okay. And we could actually take this and we could use our control key in elevator mode to drop that down even lower if we wanted to. So it'd sit down in there like that. And we could do a rendered. And check that out. Okay, so you could have an actual button shape as opposed to a notched out button object. Okay, you follow that? You might want to add like in the side here, like if you wanted to add, like you could use the same technique that you used here to add like a scroll wheel, like a little wheel on the side. Do I need to show you how to do that? Would you like to see that? Like if I wanted to put a little wheel on the side here, this is kind of it's kind of tight here, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a rounded rectangle. And it would be like right around here. like that, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to project that onto this surface like that. And let me get into my perspective window and see what I have here. And I've got something that looks like that. And I don't know if this is the best way to do this. I'm trying to think on this. No, it's not. The best way to do this. This is just the best way. Let me design the object. And that'll tell me. I'm going to come over here with my cylinder tool, and I'm going to place the center of my cylinder right there like that. I'm going to come over to my perspective window and give it a thickness like that. Okay, and I'm going to elevator that up a little bit so that it's like that. Yeah, I want to do it this way. This is the way I want to do this. So let me get rid of these curves. I don't need these curves. Does everybody follow what I'm thinking here? Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Okay. And I'm going to move this over. I'm going to move this in a little bit more like that. So it's got that kind of cool look to it like that. Right? And I'm going to detail out this piece first. Okay? And the way that I'm going to do that is that I'm get in the ghosted mode so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to do a Boolean difference. So that rock, and do you see like what's happening here? There's this thing called a workflow, and coming up with a workflow, and you sort of I'm not going to delete the input objects because I want to keep this. Oops, no, I want to go back here. You notice that I'm sort of using the same commands over and over again. It's called developing a workflow. And you'll find which commands you can use to get the job done. And that's what it's all about. Okay, I'm going to subtract from this. I'm going to subtract with that. And I want to delete my input objects, yes. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's try this again. Let's do this then. We'll do Boolean, two objects. And that's what I want right there, right? Right? Okay. You want that right there so that this fits right in there like that, right? And let's make it really nice now. Let's do a fillet edge. And I want to fillet this edge right around here. Okay. And it's going to puke on me. I knew that going in. And that's at 0.05. So I'm going to set all to 0.02. And that's still problematic. Set all to 0.01. And that's still problematic. And let's set all to 0.007. And that looks clean. Okay, so that's going to be a tiny, tiny wee little fillet. Okay, and did it work? Nope. So that tells me that there's a problem with these curves. Huh? There's a problem with these curves. Now let me show you. I'm going to show you a little trick. This is some power modeling here. Okay, to fix a problem like this.